Nothing looks different this morning. Same coffee, same traffic, same tired hallway light. You check your phone once, put it face down, and go back to your cereal like nothing's happening. Which is exactly the problem. Nothing that matters ever looks like it's happening. There are 6 signs you're already further along than you feel, and every single one of them is invisible while it's occurring.
Sign 1. The raise that disappears. The email lands Tuesday. 3% effective next month. Roughly $100. You do the math on the walk back from the printer and let it sit there, unclaimed. Your coworker gets the same email, and by lunch he's already spent it. Nicer apartment, 1 more bedroom, the ease of someone for whom expansion was never a question. You've watched this movie before. The raise arrives, the lifestyle rises to meet it, and 18 months later, the pressure feels identical, just wearing better furniture. So instead, 11 minutes, no announcement, you bump the automatic transfer by $80 into an account named something boring enough that your own brain doesn't flag it as spendable. The system isn't broken. Human psychology is built to expand the second money touches it. Economists call it hedonic adaptation, and willpower doesn't beat design. Only automation does. Nobody claps. That's the whole point.
Sign 2. The repair that stays small. Wednesday, an unknown number. Voicemail. The car's ready, $847. You finish your email first. 3 years ago, this number would have pinned you to your chair. Mental math on which card had room, whether the shop takes 2 payments. Now it's a transfer before lunch and a question about dinner. The buffer didn't feel like triumph. It felt like a Wednesday, staying exactly the size of a Wednesday, instead of metastasizing into 2 weeks of low-grade dread and a bad decision made under pressure. Almost half the country can't absorb a $1,000 shock without borrowing against tomorrow. You just quietly stopped being one of them.
Sign 3. The trip you sit out. Sunday night, group chat. A bachelorette weekend. $1,400, split 6 ways. Nobody's pressuring you. The pressure is just ambient, the invisible assumption that of course you're going, because that's what having money is for. You used to run on that assumption without ever choosing it. Now there's a beat before the yes, a question that surfaces on its own. Does this move me toward what I'm building or away from it? Tonight, the answer doesn't come clean. Monday morning, you text her separately. She sends a heart, the chat moves on. The $400 you would have wired for a deposit goes into retirement instead. 4 minutes, 0 notifications. From outside, this looks like deprivation. From inside, it's just clarity wearing a quieter coat. You still wanted the trip. You wanted the other thing more, and you knew it before the tea finished steeping. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. This was never about discipline. Discipline costs you something every time. This is what it looks like once wanting has already resolved itself. And that's the actual fork in the road between people who stay broke at every income level and people who don't.
Sign 4. The money that grows without you. 40 minutes, one Sunday, 14 months ago. A brokerage account, $500 a month into a plain index fund. No research spiral, no opinions about individual stocks. Since then, you've checked it maybe a dozen times. Once when the market dropped 6% and your phone lit up with panic you didn't ask for, and you transferred the $500 anyway, on schedule, like always. You've put in $7,000. The balance is higher than $7,000. The part above 7, the part you didn't personally deposit, is just time, indifferent to your anxiety, doing what compounding does when nobody interrupts it. $500 a month for 20 years, conservatively, lands somewhere past $260,000. You contributed a fraction of that. The rest arrived while you were making lunch.
Sign 5. The job you turned down. Thursday, an offer. $11,000 more, a better title, 90 minutes each way on a train. 3 years ago, this conversation would have ended before it started. Income was the scoreboard.
and anything that moved the number up was worth it. Friday morning, you decline. Not because the math is bad on paper, but because you've quietly started measuring hours out instead of dollars in. $11,000 divided across the year comes to under $15 an hour for 3 hours a day that used to belong to your mornings, your dinners, your actual weekend. $15 an hour isn't what your time is worth to you anymore. Nobody around you can see this shift on a statement. It doesn't file into any spreadsheet. It just quietly reroutes every decision underneath it.
Sign 6. The number nobody taught you to check. February, coffee still brewing, a spreadsheet you haven't opened since October. Checking, savings, brokerage, the loan balance. You do the subtraction and hold 2 numbers in your head like 2 photographs of the same room in different light. The difference is $18,000 in 4 months. No windfall, no lucky break, just the transfer on the first, the buffer absorbing what it was built to absorb, the trip you didn't take, the job you didn't accept. All of it sitting in one line at the bottom of a tab. About half of adults have no idea what this number even is for them because nobody ever taught them it was the real scoreboard. Income is the water coming in. This is what's actually in the tank.
None of it felt like progress while it was happening. Not the transfer, not the Wednesday that stayed a Wednesday, not the trip, not the offer you let go. No notification ever confirmed you were doing it right. That silence isn't a flaw in the system. It is the system. The coffee's still warm. Nothing else is happening yet. And that's exactly what it looks like right before the number tells you the truth.
Which of these 6 was your quiet turning point? Tell me the number below.